What's shaking, YouTube? Hope everybody's doing well. I've got a small issue today. We had some major storms here. So a bunch of trees fell, apparently took out some lines. So my internet might not be up to par today. If it starts lagging too much, we'll take it into the Discord channel. All right. Speaking of which, if you like what you see, hit that Discord link in the description. Yeah, so let's get on with this. Yo, Majid, what's going on, buddy? Hope you're doing well. So what do we got going on here? Yesterday's trade that we called right at the end of the stream, that worked out pretty nicely. Cute little trade there. All right, around 2.5%, 3% if you had stretched it, but not bad at all. And now we're starting to climb our way up. So big news, all these guys talking about this Seek business, Deep Seek, which, you know, whatever. I don't see it the way everybody's calling it, but my sound is not good. Oh no. Sound is not good. Let me just check something out here real quick. All right, that's good. That's good. That is good. That is good. Oh. Is it low? Is it crackly? What's going on? Yeah, I have a problem with the sound. Uh-oh, what is the problem with the sound? Does everything here, sound is okay here, says Marius. All right. Okay, I hear you fine. One little lag. Sound is good. Unfortunately, says Majid. All right. Let me just check something out here on the tube. No, excellent. Yeah, I think we're doing all right here. I think this is okay. All right, yeah, it's good. Okay, anyhow, hopefully it's good. Yeah, low is normal. We like low volume here, so we don't get too excited. It's a psyop that I play on you guys to see if you can relax and not get freaked out about normal movement. All right, so remember what we said, you know, about this being, it's just a range, right? So that's all that's happening here on the Bitcoin. A little more worrying on the old NASDAQ and stuff. However, you know, it's not bad, man. It did dump quite a bit, big dump, but these happen. We get 700, 800, 1,000 point moves. They happen. Someone says it's enough with 5. What? That's interesting though, how much you really should start with. Some will say it's enough with 500, others 5,000, others here again 10,000. How much you should start with what? I think I missed that. Deep Seek, put long and deep in the market, like 13-inch in NVIDIA. So it'll be pretty interesting to see how this plays out. But again, I don't think this has as much to do with Deep Seek as it does with the news that is coming out. We're getting massive news this week, right? So let's see how that goes. Again, we've got earnings coming out from some of the bigs in the NASDAQ. So they're pricing this stuff in. It's just part and parcel of what happens. You got Tesla, Microsoft, Meta, all releasing their earnings tomorrow, along with the federal funds rates, right? So this stuff will make it do this sort of things as they're waiting for, hopefully, good reports and then back up. Trading in general, or if you are new or starting with a fresh account, says Marius, it really depends what you're doing, right? If you're like, if you're trading crypto, right, the thing is that you can't be in a hurry to make money. You know, you want to be in a hurry to learn how to trade, that's fine, but you can't be in a hurry to learn how to make money. So what I would suggest is if you're going to start trading crypto, you know, like why would you open a $10,000 account? Why would you start with that much? Just start with $100. You can trade a lot with $100 in crypto. You can't do that, for example, trading NASDAQ futures, but you can definitely do that with crypto, right? And then you take your skills that you learn and start putting it in other things. But you can definitely open a couple $1,000 account for, let's say, NASDAQ futures, and you can build that up. You know, you can definitely start with $2,000. The problem is it's got to be money that, you know, you're willing to learn lessons on, meaning it's pretty risky, right? So that's really the big thing, is what I would say. All right, so we've got this. Yeah, don't use don't use 100x. Don't do it. Don't listen to Mr. Unknown. He's trolling you. All right, so again, yeah, I think this is just them preparing for tomorrow, right? Tesla usually releases their earnings really late too during the day, so be careful with that. You might not see the earnings for Tesla affect tomorrow. It might come in more on Thursday, so that's fun. Yeah, futures, I would say, for futures, you can definitely, with a $500 account, you can pull it off, but it's pretty tough. With a $1,000 account, it's a little safer. Start trading real light, but if you can put in 2,000, that would be ideal. And then you start trading with like 2 micro contracts. Then you can take profit quick on one contract and then see if you can squeeze out a bit more on the other. That's what I would suggest. But you can definitely do it with $500. You just have to be super, super disciplined and really wait for it. Okay, so let's take a quick peek here at Bitcoin. Everybody is starting to think that the bulls are on some perilous slope here, but this is what we've, I really would like to see it come down here, but I don't know if it's going to do it, but I hope it will. And that's really what I'm going to wait for. If it doesn't, and it just starts to pump to the upside, then I'll adjust my idea and look for other thing. What about the deal, Una? What about you saying, no, I don't trade people's money. I only trade my own. And no deal, buddy. But what you can do is take some of the lessons and slowly start building it up. All right. And no 100xing, man. Don't do it. So, yeah, right now, what do we got? We've got a little sort of ascending channel here. It doesn't look very convincing. All right, some decent respect in the midline here. So doesn't look very convincing. This is on the 30-minute chart. Let's check out how this goes. Now, the interesting thing is that yesterday we did open up, or sorry, we closed out pretty high up in terms of the dump, right? So if we're looking at the daily high to the daily low, we did close well above that equilibrium point. All right, so that's pretty good. That's good news, man. Doesn't look that bearish in that sense. And if you look at the volume profile from what we were talking about yesterday, it was a V formation. I know it looks a little bit funky, but it is, in my opinion. All right, so you will get differing opinions on this stuff, right? Nothing is perfect in trading, unfortunately. All right, so you can look at this really two ways. I would understand either way, but for me, it's a B. But you can look at this as a D. All right, I don't like that because you've got this big bite out of the center here. And also your point of control and your most high volume is down low. So I would actually look at this as a B shape daily profile. And then again, price closes way above the 50% mark and way above the point of control. And then pretty nicely, price comes back down in Asia session, holds that value area high, and then starts to go up. So now we've got a bunch of, well, not a bunch, but we've got naked points of control up top, but they are from Sunday. So take that with a grain of salt. But Sunday did start a pretty big move. So it could be, right? Remember, the whales don't really take the weekends off. So if we look at this, all right, if we look at this volume profile here for yesterday, no, I'll upload it after this. I just got to edit it and then get it up. I was pretty busy this morning, and last night I spent enough time on the computer that at the end I just wanted to relax. but I'll get it up very shortly, Mr. Unknown. Right after this, I'll do a quick edit, and then it'll take like maybe 15-20 minutes to get it uploaded. So this is going to be a pretty interesting zone, I think, because it really did start the dump, this point of control, even though it's on Sunday, and generally I wouldn't really care about it. Yeah, yesterday's lesson, sir. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm talking about. So this is going to be an interesting spot here. And the other thing is just this little range here in general, right? Very, very tight. And for it to cause such a big pump, all right, you're going to be looking for some sort of reaction when it comes in here. I would imagine, all right? Not guaranteed, but I think it will. So that's why you're hearing a lot of people now talk about 104, 104.5. That whole zone in here. It will be, I believe, pretty responsive. No guarantees once again, but it really should be. All right. But this is very interesting down here, and this is a teachable moment in volume profiles, is when you're looking to find support on a value area, high or low, a lot of times you'll see that when you're getting to the value area, high volume is dead, and you see here that it's definitely not, right? So this is the kind of thing you want to see on the value areas. If you've got a high volume node with the value area, then you take it more seriously, and it comes in, pretty much hits it perfectly, and then rips up off of the Asia low. So that's pretty cute. And now we've got a very nice looking Asia range set up here. Oh. Take this down to the lower time frame. I'm also going to hide this channel real quick. No worries, Mr. Unknown. You are welcome. Here's our London opening range. Trading well below it now. And our Asia. Oh, Asia opening range. Which we're hitting right now. So as far as reading volume profiles, this should turn out to be a relatively bullish day, but it's already done a move to the upside. It's taken out the previous day's highs from that dump, all right? So it's not the previous day high, but it is the previous day's high from the dump. And we've only got this little guy left here, which now has been done. So we've taken out all of that Monday. Well, we did take out the previous day's high. Never mind. Sorry. I'm losing my mind here. So mission accomplished in that sense. And now price goes down, right? So it should be relatively range bound, I would imagine, today. I don't see it really dumping much more here, but let's see what, right? Could definitely push things. All right, so let's take a peek at what we could be looking down here for zones. All right, we're gonna, there's been no Asia stop yet, so if we're gonna do a Asia low stop hunt, we've got some pretty decent zones down here to be looking at. Why am I now getting this? Weird. Why don't you bias bullish? We took previous day's highs. Yeah, my bias is not bearish, but it's pretty neutral. And have long tail. Yeah. I'm just talking about for today, right? So my bias for not bullish is because this is what I would say. I'm pretty neutral until this news is coming out, all right? And this nice bit of price action here could definitely be revisited quite soon and maybe put in a double bottom, a W formation, something like that. I'm not bearish. Like, all I would like to see is around 96,000. That's it. Would really like to see that. And since we have taken the previous day's high now, I don't think we're going to go to the previous day's low today. That I don't see us happening, but we could definitely do it tomorrow, right? And we could do a stop hunt to the low of the Asia and then turn back around and range around, right? Okay, so we've got this really nice low here. Okay, so if we're coming for the Asia stop, that's going to be a definite zone of interest here. And then you've got this order block here, which is already held. Sorry, it's not an order block, it's a pivot, but it's already held once on Asia. But as it's not an order block, it would make sense to come into this wick here or to take that low. So I'll be very interested in this whole zone right here. Let's see if we can come on down in there and grab up some liquidity and then turn price back around to the upside. What do we got here? 1217. Let's start looking at this pre-range here, which is going to be pretty big, man. All right, there's our New York pre-market high so far and our low so far inside the Asia opening range. So we haven't really accomplished much since Asia, right? London has not done anything. All it did was consolidate high. So now that that's done, it doesn't mean that we really wouldn't mind going down to 96,000 and then turn it around from that. Would love to see that. Been talking about that zone for a while now, and that's what I would love to see. And at that point too, like right now, you're going to see people are going to start getting bullish again, talking about Bitcoin over 100,000 and all that. Are getting bullish again, talking about Bitcoin over 100,000 and all that. And if price could now come down to 96,000, everybody will be panicking, and you will see a lot of short sellers get in big trouble. So that's really it. I guess let's take a peek here at the TPO chart, and we'll try to make sense of that as well. All right, so let's have a look here. All right, it's a pretty weak buying tail from the previous day's low. All right, so yeah, we do have one, but nothing spectacular. We did hit into the selling tail from yesterday, which was pretty big, and that is where we have reversed from, right? So again, I'm not going to say I'm bearish, but I'm pretty neutral right now. I'm just kind of watching what's going on, and what I would love to see is price down quite a bit. So let's see how New York opens, which way it starts to go, and then start looking for some traps and what they are trapping, right? And that's kind of it. So we don't, just because we got a tail or we got a wick, and we've done this or that, like it kind of starts taking some options off the table, and we don't really need to let it affect our buy so much, right? So from here, as price is moving up, you're looking to take previous day's high, but now that it's taken it and it's coming down, what is it coming down for? Likely we're not going to visit the low, right? But it could be coming for all kinds of different stuff. The other interesting thing here is going to be the daily open, all right, which we've now hit, coming back above it. All right, it held a little bit there, then broke, and now we're starting to pump back above it. So in terms of your previous day's levels, I mean, we've worked pretty much all of it, right? Close, open, no, which are really the same thing, right? Close, open. The only thing left is the previous day's low. Do I think we're going to go for it? Again, I don't, but need to move too far out of this range today. So it's pretty, when you see London kind of do this, you know, it is a massive range that Asia created, but London doesn't go for the highs, doesn't do anything, and now we start coming down. Now we've got this big pre-market range being put in here, which is almost $1,000. So pretty massive. Let's see where we go here. We got 9 minutes till magic hour. Then we got consumer sentiment is coming out at 3 o'clock. So half hour after the open, you're also likely going to see a little bit of volatility. Don't think Bitcoin will get too affected by it, but you'll definitely see it on the NASDAQ, on the ES, and it'll be really interesting to see how the indexes open up today, if they're going to react or they're just going to wait for tomorrow. Yeah. And yesterday's NASDAQ, this whole move here, I mean, it was a real nice little zone that it bounced off of. Swept this low here, barely. Pretty nice, man. Pretty nice. Too. I didn't trade that, but no matter. No matter. We'll catch it this week. We'll catch a nice big NASDAQ move. Tomorrow's going to be pretty intense, man. So I am looking forward to it and not overly interested in trading anything until we get that news sort of out of the way, because they are just pricing stuff in here. They're just getting their positions ready. And that's about it, man. All right, so yeah, the way the bias works, looking at the previous day's levels, is just kind of like accomplishment, right? So now, just so we're clear on this, all right, we've taken the previous day's high. We're not going to go down and take the previous day's low. There's an 85% chance that that does not happen today, right? So does that mean that we're going up and up and up? Not necessarily, all right? We could, again, just range in here. We could go down, maybe hit a golden pocket or something from the previous low here. Right into some nice fair value gap. We could also do it from the absolute low that we hit there. All right, so all of this stuff is still in play. That doesn't mean that we're going to, you know, come all the way down here. But if you're coming down into these zones, you might want to be looking for longs, right? That's it. But if you're looking to long here, your first long is going to be down to the Asia low, all right? Why BTC is so strong, man? I'm not even sure how to respond to that, Sultan. That's Bitcoin, man. Bitcoin in a bull run is a bit of a strange beast. I know a lot of people are saying that either it hasn't started yet or that it's over, but it's a pretty wild animal, man. All the levels been front ran. Yeah, that'll happen too. That'll really happen too. This wasn't, right? This was perfect off a value area high. And if you're looking at the, let's see here. All right, these are the support and resistance zones I have painted out here. The two highs and the two lows, you know, it's actually looking pretty decent. They're working. They're just sticky and they're huge zones, right? These are 4-hour support and resistance zones. So it's not that the levels are getting front ran necessarily. And I would argue that that's not true, but you're not going to like my answer, because my answer is going to be there's very, very, very rarely do you get things turning around on nothing, right? So pivots are almost always like high 90s% always off of something. You know, there's always something there. You're just not seeing what it's hitting off of. So could be like a daily 50 EMA. It could be a 1 hour 50 EMA. It could be an order block, a fair value gap. Could be an old wick. Could be fib, feed fan. Could be a pitchfork. There's so many things to be looking at that you're never really going to catch everything, because if you do, you're just going to be analyzing constantly as opposed to trading. So there's always something it's hitting, man. Yeah, SOS is here. SOS will always look for things for like golden pockets to get front run. I've noticed that about him. He'll be looking for maybe some supply and demand zones or a weird pivot right above a golden pocket, and then oftentimes it'll front run right off of whatever SOS finds. So there's always something there, man. Always something there. We got here 4 minutes till the magic begins. A lot of resistance above us for the NASDAQ now too. What does SOS mean? I see this term a lot. SOS, he's the guy, if you look up in the chat, he's the guy that said, and was talking bad about my sound. SOS, he's one of our moderators. SSOSS. The SOS, he's our order block king. That's the SOS. Three minutes till the magic. So again, should see some good volume coming in here. And is it kind of a strategy or something? No, it's actually a person. He's a guy, but he just loves order blocks. He's the lamb goat. Yeah, the lamb goat. That's a good one, Maris. Yeah, volume. All right, let's see what they bring to the table. They might just play around in the pre-market range today. Wouldn't surprise me at all. So I'm just going to color this differently here so I don't get confused. Why not? I'll do that. No. I'm not going to believe that, but there we go. And now it's the magical hurry up and wait game. The New York spin cycle about to begin. So let's see if we can catch something in the next half hour here. If we can spot them out. Market setting themselves up for some quick pain here if they keep pushing into that high. If we get some trap longs here in about 4 seconds. NASDAQ looking for a dump as well. Okay, so let's just check this out here. SPX opening a little higher. All right, NASDAQ's up 57 points off the open. That's decent. Wow, the DAX is ripping. Look at that. Dow Jones up 9 points, 10 points, 16 points off the open. Here they go. Getting priced back to business. Futures also on the move. The bit is going. And Dixie also up big. All right, Nvidia looking to try to go up here. All right, so nothing crazy happening yet. That's a good sign. So here we go. New York opens up, rips into that London opening range. And there's our New York opening range. Back into the pre-market zone. Let's see if they leave this little fair value gap here. It's not a good fair value gap, but if they leave one and move away from the zone, gives you a potential little place to be looking for a setup there. So today in the Discord, we're going to do another 6:30 GMT time stream. We're going to do part 2 of the volume profile. I'm going to talk about some setups and just go over a couple of basics. If you wish to join us, Discord link in the description. Vector Candles says, Vicky Jan, want to see vector candles on a 1 minute chart, lower chart. Three pushes up, big red down. Bit of a bearish sign there. You want to see what we're going to be trying to recoup at the bottom here. We'll take it to the 15-minute. All right, so we've got this zone here. This has already been recouped. So about 100,000. Yeah, 100,300-ish to, that's when that sort of bias comes in about the accomplishments of the day so far. We've already swept the previous day's high, so we don't really need to grab that. Wouldn't be yeah, so there's not the other thing about, not the other thing, but one thing you want to keep in mind too with these sorts of ranges here when we get caught up in this stuff is a lot of what we're generally looking for, we kind of got to take with a grain of salt, right? So for example, the big three, useless right now, all right? This would have been useful if it wasn't in New York Open, right? So absolutely useless since I woke up. Nothing happening there. So you gotta just kind of chill out, right? You know, this is the only, it's not the only thing to trade, obviously, but if you are looking for something specific and it's just not showing up, you know, just relax, man. Don't worry about it. Everything's going to be fine. If you're confused, let the market show you what it's going to do. Let's say it starts ripping up, then try to get in on a pullback. And same thing to the downside. London range looking pretty strong there. That's a pretty decent consolidation all in that zone here. And now this is starting, I know it's only the 1 minute chart, but it's starting to look like a bit of a barbed wire pattern here. So might be setting up for a move to the downside. That is some horrible, horrible open volume. Check out the NASDAQ. NASDAQ on the dump. But good old New York volume. Look at that. I'm not sure who was asking. Can't even remember if it was yesterday, but somebody asked me about stopping volume candles. That's a stopping volume candle, all right? Price pushes up, comes back down. Right off the open, you have all this volume. No real body on the wick, and it doesn't go anywhere. And then all of a sudden you get volume going the other way, really pushing down. So it looks like they don't want price above this zone right now. Doesn't mean it'll hold when it comes back, but that's exactly what you're looking for with a stopping volume candle, all right? Don't even have to put your vectors on because it's pretty obvious this is a vector candle. Just looking at the volume. Okay, so London opening range high now taken. And we got about 21 minutes till consumer sentiment news comes out. And there's really not much happening here. Low volume compared to pre-market. Yeah. Yeah, it happens. It happens on Bitcoin anyways. You pretty much never will see that on any indexes or stocks, but you will see that on Bitcoin quite often. This low is pretty interesting, man, I gotta say. Very interesting. So one thing I would say, like, I'm not bearish, all right? I don't want you to get that idea, but if we can break this low here and then close a couple half-hour candles underneath, we've got our value area 80% set up. very aware of that. It's still a possibility. All right, the value area high from yesterday is pretty much right at the low. Yeah, and if it sort of stays sticky like this, could get a bit weird. Yeah, that is slow here. Surprised I am not lagging on you guys and you're not complaining more. Again, had major storms here, lots of trees down. I actually had to go out this morning and pick up a new headset. And it took me about an hour and a half longer than it usually would, which, you know, takes me about 40 minutes usually to go where I went and come back home. And it took me an extra hour and a half. Had to drive around all these crazy country roads. And there was everywhere, man. And the main road, the main highway from my house that I was gonna take had a monster, like an old centennial tree, man. Cleanup crews on it. There was an accident because of it as well. So, tree on a car. Nobody got hurt, thankfully, but yeah. Stream is loading more than usual today here. Not sure why. Could be on my side. No, it's probably me, man. It's probably me. On my GPU, it says that I've got great connection. On my actual, yeah, YouTube's also saying I've got great connection. All right. Hitting the daily open once again. No, that's the value area high. Sorry. Value area low for the day? No, that's the value. No, that is the daily open. Yep. Hit the daily open, bounce off the daily open. Yeah, but it is pretty laggy. So, all right, what I'll do here is this is looking pretty interesting, and I really want to watch this over 3 o'clock, see what the news does here. But honestly, this is what I will leave for you, YouTube, is the Asia low, all right, which is where we found resistance off of yesterday's value area high in a high volume node. If we lose that and start trading underneath it and we close 2 half-hour candles underneath this, then there's an 80% probability that we go at least test yesterday's point of control, which is quite low on the day. So it would be a pretty decent trade. Or we come down, hit the stops, and then turn back around and start trading above it. Would be a pretty decent long, probably up to potentially the London highs, and then maybe even take out that Asia high, but that is not really in the cards for the day, but could happen. All right, so that's what I would say. So what I'll do is I'll finish off the stream. If you want to join us on the Discord, the link is in the description, and I'll go live in the lounge. It's a lot less megabytes getting pushed out that way, and it'll be a little less laggy. So we'll do that. And yeah, that's gonna be it then, guys. For the upside, it's the exact opposite sort of scenario, right? Watch for the Asia high stop hunt. Be very careful because we've already taken the previous day's highs. If we take this and then find support here, it could just keep going. All right, and that will do it then. All right, so we'll give me about 7 minutes or so, and I'll be on the Discord lounge. All right, everybody. Hope you're having a great afternoon, and we'll see if we can catch a winner here, man. No worries, JD. Talk soon, guys. Ciao.